my demo. I'm going to be in the booth. I've got a few of my books to sell. I've got great pasta sauces, and I've got the 50 great appetizers. And I'd love to just meet you and talk to you. Sienna didn't say much about Italy Hotline, but she is one of the best trip planners that you can run into. She has a lot of attention to detail. She's got great people like me that she books. And you can find a lot about Italy, I think, especially through the table. It's the best way to learn the culture and the customs. And my focus is on traditional ingredients and artisans and the regional cooking. So today I'm talking about a recipe from my appetizer book, which is not 100% Italian recipe, but of course I pulled one out that was Italian. A very, very classic homey recipe for making a crostini with a white bean puree. Now, you know, it's not that we usually sit down and make a white bean puree to put on top of a crostini, but this is a kind of recipe that goes back to times when people didn't have a lot. And, you know, they probably would make a nice big Sunday soup of white beans, and the next day they would have some left over, and it would be lunch to be spread on top of a piece of bread. In fact, my new book is about the Tuscan peasant cooking. It's called Cucina Povera. And in this book, I've got, I can show you afterwards, I can show you a mock-up that I have. I've got interviews with people who've lived through some very, very hard times. Older people usually, who have a lot of stories about how they managed to eat. And at the end of working on this book and putting it together, I kind of came out with an idea that we really, really need to think about living that way a little bit more ourselves. It's about living simply, eating locally, eating simply, using less expensive cuts of meat in small amounts, and learning the techniques that it takes to cook them and make them delicious. It's really quite simple. And what it boils down to in the end is using good ingredients. Tuscan cooking is not difficult. It isn't complex. The techniques are simple. What really makes it taste good are the individual ingredients. So that's what we focus on. We have a very important person watching back here today too, who has a fabulous line of these kind of artisanal products. This is Beatrice. She's from Gustiamo.com. Gustiamo is an importer of some of these artisan products that I'm talking about. So you can go into a store and be absolutely overwhelmed by the number of olive oils there are from so many places with different kinds of qualities listed on them. It may not really tell you a lot. Here's a good place to start with someone like Gustiamo, who has hand-selected the batch for you in the first place. So I could talk about 3 hours